So let's talk about it. Spurs versus Leeds finished 1-0, and Spurs missed the opportunity to go 4 points clear of rivals West Ham with just 2 games left to go. But again, it's not just the result that have got people talking. Again, it's VAR. After the controversy in the West Ham versus Arsenal game, once again, VAR is the topic of discussion. Again, it's the lack of inconsistencies in the decisions and also how long it's taken these decisions to be made. So the first incident was the Matistel penalty for Leeds. When I initially looked at it, I didn't think it was a penalty. I think obviously it's madness him trying to do a bicycle kick in our own penalty area, but he was already in the motion of doing the bicycle kick and the Leeds player has jumped into it. Obviously it's a foul. I think you can look at it from both sides. As a Spurs fan, I'm always going to say no, it's not a penalty. But if the shoe was on the other foot, you would probably be calling for it. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But again, it's the length of time of how long these decisions are taking. It took a good 6+ minutes of time to try and make this decision. So is it clear and obvious? But then you've got the Stonewall penalty for James Maddison that was not given. There are some people saying that the defender won the ball first. The contact was already made on Maddison way before. The ball trajectory doesn't change early enough, and you can see his left foot catching Maddison. So, in my opinion, it's a penalty. It's a Stonewall one. Again, we're only one of 2 teams that have not got a penalty this season. And on the other foot, this one barely got looked at. Took about 10 seconds for them to review it and deem it not a penalty. How does it take just such a short time like that? Yet with the Leeds penalty, it takes 6 minutes. It's the lack of consistency and the lack of dialogue around it. But let's talk about the game. Obviously, we spoke about Tell giving away the penalty. Obviously, beforehand, he scored an absolute worldie goal, and I was so happy for him. And it wasn't the best of performances from Spurs. Obviously, like our performance against Villa, I know a lot of people have said that Villa was so poor, but we looked good. We looked great in fits and starts throughout the game, but our front three weren't really firing. Richarlison didn't have the best of games. Moani didn't either. Obviously, Tell was a bit up and down. Obviously, scored the banging goal, but also gave away the penalty. I think our midfield three, the link up between Paulinho, Bentancur, Conor Gallagher, I think that's one that needs to stay. But on one of the brighter notes, the return of James Maddison, after being out since August 2025, tearing his ACL, to have him back in the side is going to be massive leading into those last 2 games against Chelsea and Everton. And his return got probably one of the biggest cheers of the night. So, so happy to see him back. And obviously that control he gives us as well, absolutely buzzing for him. And also talking of unbelievable, massive, massive shout out to Anton Kingsky after what he went through in the Atletico Madrid game, being pulled after 17 minutes. His performances since he's come back in for Vicario has been astronomical. He's been unbelievable. The save against Wolves, the free kick that kept the game at 1-0. Villa, he didn't have too much to do. Brighton game he played well, but this game, 2 unbelievable saves. One where he managed to tip it onto the bar, how he generated enough power in his arms to push it up and over. And then the one from Joe Rodon, which he saved on the line, absolutely unbelievable. And I think he should stay in goal for the last 2 games, whether or not Vicario's fit or not, because this guy's redemption arc, he's still a young guy, has been unbelievable. But like I mentioned before, we go to Chelsea on Tuesday next week, Stamford Bridge. We don't often get anything there. Obviously, Chelsea aren't playing well at the moment either. We really, really need at least a win and a draw in our last 2 games. Obviously, it's in our hands. We just need to not lose. West Ham have got to get 6 points ideally from the last 2 games. So if you have a look below, we've got Chelsea and Everton last game of the season, and West Ham have Newcastle and Leeds. 2 massive games for both the clubs. Who do you think is going to stay up?